Hi everyone, welcome back to English Teller. I'm so glad you're here with me today. I thought for this episode, I'd do something a little different. Instead of a topic or interview, I just want to take you through a day in my life. What my routine looks like, the little things I've learned, and honestly, the funny or frustrating moments that sneak into an ordinary day. So let's start with the morning. I wake up around 6:30 a.m. Not because I'm naturally an early bird, but because I've trained myself. The truth is, if I don't get up then, my whole day feels rushed. The first thing I do, even before I look at my phone, is drink water. I used to skip this step, but ever since I started keeping a glass next to my bed, it's become automatic. It's such a small thing, but it really wakes me up in a way coffee doesn't. Speaking of coffee, of course that's next. I head to the kitchen, put on the kettle, and grind some beans. I'm not fancy, but I do enjoy the ritual. The sound of grinding, the smell of coffee filling the air, it kind of sets the mood for the day, and while it brews, I usually open the window and just look outside, even if it's only for 2 minutes. I like to notice the weather, the light, the sound of birds. It makes me feel like I've greeted the day instead of just diving into it. After that, I'll do a short workout. Nothing extreme. Maybe yoga or stretching, sometimes a quick walk around the block if I'm feeling energized. I used to be very all or nothing with exercise, but I've learned that consistency, even with small things, really changes how I feel. Some mornings I only manage 10 minutes, but that's still better than nothing. Once I've moved a little, I get ready for work. I actually enjoy this part. The shower, picking an outfit, putting on some music or a podcast in the background. It feels like preparing my mental stage for the day. And I've noticed that how I start my morning really influences my mood. If I rush and skip breakfast, I'm scattered, but if I slow down and take care, I feel more centered. Work, of course, takes up a big chunk of the day. I work mostly from home now, which has its pros and cons. The good part is no commute. I save so much time. The tricky part is setting boundaries. In the beginning, I'd roll out of bed and start checking emails immediately. Now, I try to stick to a schedule. I sit down at my desk by 9 a.m. and I actually dress like I'm going to the office. Well, at least from the waist up. Yes, I am that person who wears a nice top for video calls and sweatpants underneath during work. I've made a habit of taking small breaks. Sometimes I'll stretch. Sometimes I'll water my plants. I've learned that stepping away for even 5 minutes makes me more focused when I return. Without those pauses, the hours blur together. Lunch is usually simple. Something like a salad or leftovers from the night before. I used to skip lunch or just snack, but that always left me exhausted by the afternoon. These days, I treat it as a reset point, not just for food but also for my brain. I'll sometimes sit by the window, or if the weather's nice, eat outside. The afternoons are my most productive hours. I get into that flow state where time just disappears, but around 3 or 4 p.m., I hit a wall. That's when I either make a cup of tea or go for a short walk. I used to fight the slump, but I've realized it's natural. Instead of pushing through with frustration, I give myself permission to pause. By evening, I like to do something that separates work from home life. it could be cooking dinner, meeting a friend, or just changing into comfy clothes and reading. Cooking especially helps me unwind, chopping vegetables, stirring pots. It's like a mini meditation, plus, I love the satisfaction of creating something nourishing. After dinner, my routine depends on the day. Sometimes I watch a show or listen to music. Other nights, I'll journal or work on a personal project. I've learned that even 30 minutes of doing something creative makes me feel fulfilled. Before bed, I try to stay away from screens. Though I'll admit I don't always succeed, my ideal night is reading a few pages of a book, making some tea, and doing a little reflection. I often write down one thing I'm grateful for and one thing I'd like to improve tomorrow. It's a simple habit, but it helps me close the day with perspective, and then lights out. Usually by 11, some nights my mind races, but most nights I fall asleep pretty quickly, and the cycle begins again. What I've realized, after paying attention to my routine, is that it's not about having a perfect day, it's about building small anchors, like water in the morning, stretching, mindful meals, little pauses, that keep me steady. Life throws curveballs, but those anchors help me return to balance. So that's a glimpse into my daily life. Maybe it sounds ordinary, but I think there's beauty in ordinary routines. They shape who we are, and they remind us that small choices matter. Thanks for spending this time with me today. If you enjoyed this little peek into my routine, let me know. I'd love to share more experiences, maybe even the messy, not so perfect parts next time. Until then, take care of yourself. And I'll see you in the next episode of English Teller.